Hi, I'm Alex. Every time you hear the word rationalism, you tend to associate it with atheism. But in fact, rationalism is a much bigger concept. Our Indian Constitution has a part in it which actually explains the concept of rationalism much better. Our Indian Constitution says that it is the responsibility of every citizen to develop a scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, which basically means that we have to have a scientific approach to everything in our life, ask questions, and have a very reformative attitude. We should not hesitate to question anything in the society that we think can be questioned. But look at the recent events that are happening in our country. Every time you question a politician, they call you an anti-national. Recently, our armed forces were attacked in Pulwama. As a retaliatory measure, our Air Force went into Pakistan and destroyed a lot of sites that were used as training camps by Jaish-e-Mohammed. There is no question about the bravery and sacrifice of our armed forces. But our people had some legitimate questions. They wanted to know if all the training camps were destroyed or how many terrorists were actually killed in our counter attacks. But instead of answering those questions, our politicians have started attacking our own people by calling them as anti-nationals for asking these questions. They have basically said that we are questioning the sincerity and loyalty of our armed forces, which is absolutely not right or true. It is important to note that our Constitution gives us the right and duty to question things and people whenever it is needed. So there is absolutely nothing wrong in asking these questions to our politicians. Similarly, there are a lot of internet warriors who want a war between India and Pakistan. The question is, are these guys actually going to go and fight if a war erupts between India and Pakistan? They're going to be comfortably sitting in the comfort of their living rooms and watch TV while our armed personnel fight for us. So it is very important for us to use our rationale and not get carried away with these noisy voices of internet deshbaks. Another thing that we have to be careful about is that a lot of these deshbaks hiding behind our armed forces are actually infusing a very dangerous narrative into our head without us realizing it. They are infusing the idea that no one can question our armed forces at any point of time. There is no question about the sacrifices and bravery of our armed forces. But we have to understand that we live in a democracy and nobody is above questioning. In a democracy, people are the most important thing. We have a government for the people. We have the armed forces for the people. In fact, there can be a nation only if there are people. It's not the other way around. So as our Constitution says, nobody is above questioning. Therefore, never let anyone blackmail you by questioning your patriotism. You don't have to prove to anyone how patriotic you are. Do not hesitate to ask a question, because our Constitution not only says that it is our right, but asking questions is also our responsibility and duty. Thank you.